There are certain issues where it is extremely important to be upfront and honest about it, if only for the sake of other people. When welfare initially started in this country, it was meant to be a temporary solution to someone's financial problems. Dad gets laid off from his job. He needs financial assistance for a few weeks, possibly even a few months, until he gets back on his feet. Now, the problem, of course, people started gaming the system. More importantly, the government and politicians allowed people to game the system so they could secure votes. Now, welfare, food stamps, now most types of government assistance, it has a stigma to it. Same notion's true when it comes to sexual assault. Real victims of sexual assault, they have a really hard time coming forward. Most of them blame themselves. There's a lot of shame that goes with it. But the main reason that women are afraid to come forward, they're afraid they won't be believed. Now, why do they feel this way? Because so many women have filed false claims. You guys remember that Duke lacrosse scandal? I think it was back in '06 or 2007. There have been cases where women get mad at a boyfriend or a one-night stand, file a false claim against them. People gaming the system, it makes it more difficult for others that are actual victims or actually do need welfare. Same goes with mental health. Mental health is serious business. When Simone Biles backed out of the Olympics last summer due to mental health reasons, she received a lot of backlash from conservative media. Now, she received nothing but support from the woke media, not because they really give a fuck about Simone Biles. They just use her as another tool to highlight mythical racism in conservative media. I was actually supportive of Simone Biles. I don't like to speculate when it comes to things like this. If Simone Biles says that she wasn't in the right headspace, if she says that she can't perform, she can't perform. Simple as that. But there are some athletes that I feel use mental health as a crutch. Actually, I should not use the word athlete here because I'm talking about Liz Cambage. Collecting woke welfare in the WNBA dump, that does not make you an athlete. Makes you a leech on society. You're collecting money you haven't earned. If you took NBA funding away from the WNBA, this league would cease to exist, hence the term woke welfare. A couple of weeks ago, Liz Cambage and other woke welfare recipients in LA traveled to the Las Vegas dump to participate in charity basketball. After the game, the team made its way to the porta potty locker room where Liz Cambage stormed out, leaving her teammates to finish taking out the trash. "Farewell, ladies and men. My days of being a garbage man are over. I am leaving to pursue a career as a male model." That was it. That was it. No explanation given. No 2-week notice so the team could recruit replacement players from the 9th grade. Liz Cambage simply grabbed her jockstrap, hopped on her Schwinn, and rode off into the Las Vegas sunset. Earlier this week, after 2 or 3 weeks of speculation from the 2 or 3 WNBA fans, they were finally given a partial explanation. We're going to address 2 parts here. We're going to start with the mental health aspect. Then I'm going to address her complaints about the lack of support in the WNBA. Now, as you can see, Liz Cambage claims to be taking time off so I can focus on healing and personal growth. Let me translate that for you. Shit wasn't going my way, so I'm taking my jockstrap and going home. Liz Cambage has been a nightmare to deal with in Los Angeles. There are reports of her chastising and disrespecting teammates. She's complained all season about not getting the ball enough. Now, teammates claim they weren't feeding her the ball because Liz Cambage just wasn't performing at a high level. Now, I'm not sure what constitutes as a high level in the dump, considering the fact that some dude named Sam Thomas just made the all-rookie team, playing 5 minutes a game and scoring 0 points. If Liz Cambage scored 1 point a game, she was playing at a high level in the dump. Now, the reason I doubt Liz Cambage, she has used mental health in the past to either justify bad behavior or give her a reason to get out of a bad situation. 3 years ago, she wrote an article on the Players Tribune. The article seemed to be a cry for sympathy. Look at me, I'm a victim. What were some of her mental health conditions that she described? One of them was getting blackout drunk at 15 years old. When I was in high school, we called that the weekend. They didn't call that a mental health condition, they called it being a teenager. After I was drafted into this dump, I cried every night of my rookie season. Yeah. You were crying because you didn't want to live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They used to call that being homesick. Now, I'm sure it was a bit of a culture shock growing up in Australia and moving to Tulsa, Oklahoma. But must not have been too bad since you returned 2 years later. Last summer, Liz Cambage was supposed to play for the Australian national team in the Olympics. 3 days before the team was leaving for Tokyo, Liz Cambage announces that she's just not going to go. I need to focus on my mental health. Oh, the mainstream media ate it up. This poor woman, she's obviously struggling. Let's gather around her and give her a nice group woke hug. That always makes me feel better. Several months later, the truth finally comes out. Liz Cambage did not pull out of the Olympics herself. No. She was forced off the team after using multiple racial slurs against Nigerian players in a scrimmage. Are you noticing a trend here? Gets drafted to the Tulsa dump, mental health. Gets kicked off the Olympic team, mental health. Walks out of the porta potty and leaves her LA teammates to finish garbage duty, mental health. Call me a skeptic, but I just find it hard to believe. Seems like every time things are not going her way, Liz Cambage falls back on mental health. Now, I'm not denying she has issues. It's entirely possible that she does. But this just seems all too convenient. In her Instagram post, she also blasted the WNBA for not creating a safe environment and for not supporting its players. How much safer can the environment be? No one's going to the games. You don't have to worry about a fight breaking out. No one's there. They have armed security at the front gates of the dump to make sure bums aren't coming in looking for food. Well, KC, she's talking about riding Greyhound buses and flying coach to games. It's unsafe. She could catch the COVID and be forced into another round of Fauci fucking. This is a constant complaint amongst dump divers. They think because they participate in a semi-professional basketball league, they're entitled to charter flights. But none of them want to generate the revenue to pay for it. Like most generational welfare recipients, they're expecting a handout. Now, what could Liz Cambage mean by lack of support? She's already collecting money she hasn't earned. Can't be that, right? The league offers buffet-style catering at games filled with cucumbers and bananas. They give the players jerseys and hoodies to wear on cold nights in the dump. What could she possibly mean by the WNBA not supporting its players? I dug through my video archives on my computer and I found the answer. Back in February, Liz Cambage, she visited the main campus of Woke U in Bristol, Connecticut, ESPN. She was there to talk about Becky Hammon receiving $1 million a year to manage the dump in Las Vegas. Now, you would think Liz Cambage would be happy about this. This would be a step in the right direction in the WNBA. But no. Listen to her define lack of support. Roll the film.
It's tough to know that few of us are already taking a salary cut to play here in the WNBA. You know, I've been vocal since day one. I sat out 5 seasons because I get paid 5 to 8 times more overseas than I do here in the WNBA. Wow. And it's hard when you want to be at home. You know, America is home for me now, and I want to spend as much time as I can here. But a lot of women go overseas and spend 8 months in China or Europe to make their main money. So it's hard when you have the best league in the world, but we're not treated like the best athletes in the world. You know, I pay to upgrade myself. That's one part of the CBA that I can't stand, is that my team, my club can't look after me and put me in first. I personally don't even fly myself economy. I haven't seen the back of a plane since the WNBA season was over. I don't fit back there. So the fact that I have to pay to upgrade my flight to get to work and perform, it's crazy to me. But, you know, we got owners in the league that want to do so much more for us, but they can't. They're very restricted by the CBA, so I'd like to see that loosened up a bit, and the Supermax to go up.
Well, and we're seeing the women's game. We're seeing more investments in it. And so I can only hope that those investments that you're talking about to allow yourself that peak performance, that they're going to follow, because we've seen that when women's games get put on national TV, when people are given the opportunity, they come and they watch, Ramona.
Do you see why I say these women are entitled? First of all, who in the fuck says the WNBA is the best league in the world? Are you out of your fucking mind? Do I need to pull the video again and show you highlights of WNBA basketball? Earlier this week, I saw highlights of Bronny James playing in what looked like a high school All-American game. Something to that effect, I don't know. But anyway, he's pulling off one-handed dunks at 17 years old. Never seen that in the WNBA. You're not treated like the best athletes in the world because you're not. Most people find professional bowling more entertaining than the WNBA. And I don't know who that broad was on the left side of the screen. When WNBA games are on national TV, people watch. Oh, really? Oh, really? This dump was featured on national television more this season than any other time in league history. They averaged 351,000 viewers. On ABC, which routinely draws anywhere from 2 to 6 million, the WNBA on ABC drew between 4 and 450,000. The smugness of Liz Cambage when she was talking about flying first class. I haven't seen the back of a plane since leaving the WNBA. I am too good to fly with the peasants. Go fetch me my cucumber, bitch. The outright arrogance of this shitfuck, the sense of entitlement. This is exactly what's wrong with the WNBA. You know, if they marketed this league as an underdog league, if they marketed the few normal women they have, they might be able to draw an audience. Americans love an underdog story. Women can relate to women that look like them or who they aspire to be like. Instead, the dump promotes mythical racism, mythical misogyny. They promote so-called stars like Liz Cambage, who 99% of the population can't relate to. Every time you hear about this league, it's nothing but complaints from the players, whining about air travel, whining about accommodations. There's a simple solution to your problem. Shut this fucking dump down. Well, let me know what you think. Liz Cambage, pulling the mental health card again. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.